Part 3, School Safety. Hope is not the answer. Hello, this is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. Welcome to Part 3 of our series, School Safety. Hope is not the answer. In Part 1, we looked across a number of credible data sets that showed us the school safety challenge is real, and that it goes beyond school violence to include bomb threats, communicable disease, bullying, fires, natural disasters, environmental problems with old, deteriorating schools, and a host of other safety incidents that are occurring daily at schools across the country. In Part 2, we did a quick assessment of how well we, as a nation, have responded to school safety concerns, especially as they relate to the topic of school violence in the form of shootings. Across the board, what the credible data sets told us was that although we've been spending billions and billions of dollars every year to harden schools, the result has been worse than a mixed bag, with school shootings reaching a recent 2-decade high. After taking a fast hop, skip, and jump across the school playground, we found credible data to isolate 5 key things that can help us to keep our kids at school safer. Namely, the scope of school safety challenges includes, but goes well beyond the threat of school shootings. The phenomena of school violence is complicated by a web of motivating social factors that undergird and mutually affect other aspects of school safety. We are expending great amounts of resources to improve the safety of our kids at schools with only mixed results. There are no comprehensive standards to guide basic and the best investments in school safety that reflect these collateral benefits, and there is a pressing need for a systems approach to school safety that stresses deterrence, the earliest possible detection of incidents, faster communication to responders so they can prevent safety incidents before they happen, and, if necessary, respond in the best and proven ways to safety incidents at schools in order to mitigate the consequences of the event. In addition to my job here as an editor and commentator at the Objective News Network, I also serve as the executive director of a nonprofit charitable organization called the Institute for Complexity Management, or ICM for short. You can visit ICM's website at the following URL for more information on the types and things that the organization does. But one of the most important activities at ICM involves what is called our National School Safety Collaboratory, or NSSC for short, where we talk and share ideas with educators across the country, policymakers, law enforcement, public health organizations, and other multidisciplinary experts about school safety. At the NNSC, they are taking a different look at the whole issue of school safety to, for the first time, take what we already know about school safety, treat the data in a way that it can be used to computer model and simulate events to project good or bad outcomes in order to make the best investments using our limited resources. The NNSC is working to combine for the first time the advantages of supercomputing with what we already know to address school safety challenges from a holistic view that leverages the safety investments we make in one area of school safety to mutually support and simultaneously strengthen other school areas of safety concern. Based on inputs from schools at the NNSC portal, ICM conducts and shares in-depth research on topics that directly affect all aspects of school safety. Since safety at schools goes well beyond the single challenge of preventing and improving responses to school shootings, the researchers at ICM have broadened their research to include virtually every type of safety incident that can occur at any school, college, or university across the country. One of their first research projects was to look across credible data sets using the same authentication software that we use here at the Objective News Network. Authentication is an advanced and a highly powerful research tool that helps us to quickly and easily separate fact from fiction as we look across the vast seas of data on the internet to find information ranked according to its credibility. From this data, ICM was able to isolate 10 major categories of school safety concern based on the types of incidents that were actually happening at schools. In another example, ICM created the most comprehensive and highly advanced database of school shootings that they use to fully characterize the exact nature of every school shooting in America from the 1900s through 2012 that they could find information on. Research is now underway to characterize all school shootings that have occurred between 2012 and 2022 in exactly the same way to create the most comprehensive school shootings database of its kind in the entire world. Every shooting from the very beginning of the event through each and every sequential step that the shooter took to carry out the act of violence is reverse engineered. Gender, motivation, prior threats, type of weapons used, how the shooter obtained the weapons, each and every individual step they took to commit the crime, the effectiveness of the response to the incident, and so much more data is carefully researched, analyzed, and recorded as ICM reverse engineers shootings and the timeliness and quality of the responses. The data is used to conduct analysis and simulation to statistically quantify the significance of the indicators and warnings of the event that could have been recognized and acted upon before the event took place to prevent it. The response data is also analyzed and simulations are used to determine for all past incidents in the database what worked best to mitigate the consequences of each event. Together, the ICM research on preventing school safety incidents before they happen and the scientific analysis of the best possible responses to the different types of safety incidents were used to create a first of its kind set of comprehensive school best practice safety standards. ICM then partnered with the Indiana Army National Guard to take the new standards out to their Muscatatuck Urban Training Center for multidisciplinary expert review and physical testing. Then ICM had one of the country's national laboratories, Argonne National Laboratory, develop a computer prototype software platform that lets administrators, teachers, and other school safety personnel very quickly and with ease inexpensively monitor on a continuing basis their school safety performance across the 10 major areas of school safety concern. We spoke briefly with Bruce Becker, the president of the National School Safety Collaboratory at ICM, who told us, and I quote, "What we are trying to do is avoid a piecemeal approach to the school safety challenge. All of us know already, through our own common sense, that what you do in one area to improve safety has a positive impact in other areas. We have already learned that a piecemeal way of doing business has not worked, wastes time, and uses up resources that could be spent in better ways. What we need is a multidisciplinary participation, world-class research, science, analysis, and simulation that considers the school safety challenge in a comprehensive and socially interrelated way, and then to take the information and simple-to-use set of standards and apply them. Becker told us that ICM is currently looking for donations to take their prototype system and further develop it to install it at little to no cost to participating schools at 5 locations across the country as a seedbed for educators to use and evaluate the system for effectiveness. Quoting from Becker again, at ICM we have done a more detailed tutorial on the new software system that employs projective analytics to prevent school safety incidents whenever possible and when necessary, to make responses the most effective that they can be by learning and building on our experience in handling safety events at schools, Becker said. You can visit ICM to make a charitable, tax-deductible contribution to help schools across the country improve safety by visiting the following URL. We at ONN urge everyone who can to contribute, no matter how small an amount. There is great power in collective action. That brings us to the conclusion of school safety. Hope is not the answer. It is what it is for November 3rd, 2022. This is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. We look forward to seeing you the next time.